Hey team, we are now ready for week 5. Hopefully you got your Unit 4 test done last week. We are now going to do Unit 5, which is going to be 2 weeks of notes and then your test. So hopefully you are ready for that. We are going to do systems of equations. This week is going to be hopefully mostly review for you. And then next week's going to have a little bit of new stuff maybe. And that will be it. Week 7 will just be your Unit 5 test. So we're on the downhill slide, guys. So we are going to talk about solving linear systems. If we're going to solve by substitution, you want to first get one variable in one of the equations by itself. In step 2, solve that equation. So you should get an equation with one variable. In step 3, you just find that answer then. Step 4, take that answer you just found and plug it into your equation for step 1, and then simplify that. So then you'll find your second answer and then check your answer, make sure you're right. So I think it's easier to see this in action than to just look at the steps. So let's test drive this one. So we're going to solve this by substitution. So the first step is to get one variable in one equation by itself. So when you're deciding on that, you want to pick the one that will be easiest. So I notice the first equation I'm going to have to divide by 5 or divide by 4. In the bottom, this x is looking pretty good because this y I'm going to have to divide by 2. So I'm going to get this x down here by itself. So if I take x minus 2y equals negative 3, I add my 2y over, and I get x equals 2y minus 3. That's step 1. Step 2 says, okay, now we're going to take that, we're going to plug that equation, 2y minus 3, in for x in the other equation. So we solve the bottom one, so we're going to take the top equation, and instead of having an x, we're going to plug in 2y minus 3. So we have 5 times 2y minus 3 minus 4y equals 9. Step 3 says, okay, now solve that. So distribute your 5, 10y minus 15. Combine your like terms. So 10y minus 4y is 6y. Add your 15 over, that's 24. Divide by 6, y is 4. Step 4 says, okay, now you know y is 4. Go back to this equation you found in step 1 and plug in 4 for y. So x is going to be 2 times 4 minus 3. That's 8 minus 3, so x must be 5. Step 5 says, okay, check your answer. So take your top equation, plug in 5 for x, 4 for y, make sure it's true. Take your bottom equation, plug in 5 for x, 4 for y, make sure it's true. Since they're both true, we know we're right. So your answer is an ordered pair. X is 5, y is 4, so 5, 4. Beautiful. Substitution's only one way we can solve, though. The other way to solve is called addition, or sometimes it's called elimination. The book that we use uses addition, and so on my math lab, they're going to say, like, solve by addition. So step 1 is to write both equations in the form of ax plus by equals c. Sometimes you won't have to do that. It'll already be done for you. Step 2, you want to multiply one or both equations so that when you add the x's or when you add the y's, they'll cancel out. Step 3, add your equations together. So you should end up with an equation that just has one variable. Step 4, solve that equation. Step 5, plug whatever you got in step 4 into one of the equations you started with and solve for the other variable. Step 6, check your answer. So let's try one of these. I have 3x plus 2y equals 48. 9x minus 8y equals negative 24. So we have two options here. We could multiply the top equation so that it matches the bottom. If I want to match the x's, I'd multiply by negative 3. If I want to match the y's, I'd multiply by positive 4 because I want them to have opposite signs. So I'm going to multiply it by negative 3. Okay, I don't have to do step 1 because they're already lined up. I have whatever x, whatever y equals whatever. So I multiply the top by -3. That gives me -9x minus 6y equals -144. I keep the bottom just the way it is. And step 3 says, okay, now add those together. So my x's are gone. I get -14y equals -168. Step 4 says solve that equation. So divide by -14 and you get y equals 12. Step 5 says, okay, take y equals 12 and plug it into either of these equations. The top one has smaller numbers, so I'm going to pick that. So 3x plus 2 times 12 equals 48. Well, 2 times 12 is 24. Subtract your 24, divide by 3, and x is 8. So we can check our answer, plug in 8 for x and 12 for y in the top, and it's true. Plug in 8 for x and 12 for y in the bottom, and it's true. So I know my answer is the ordered pair 8, 12. Cool. So this one says solve by the addition method. 2x equals 7y minus 17. 5y equals 17 minus 3x. So this one is not lined up. So we need to fix that. We're going to subtract this 7y. We're going to add that 3x. And we get that. And then we're ready to multiply. But this one doesn't look that pretty, right? We're going to have to multiply the top and the bottom to get them to match up. And that's going to take some time and some work that I am not willing to put in. You can see here, ain't nobody got time for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into what we call a matrix. Once you have all of your variables lined up, so you've got to do step 1, you're just going to get rid of the letters. And so my top row is going to be 2, -7, -17. Your bottom row is going to be 3, 5, +17. And we're going to put this in our calculator. So in our calculator, look at that. We're going to go to matrix. Where do you find matrix? Well, you turn your calculator on and you go second. And then right here, this x -1 button, see how it says matrix up above it? Hit that. And you go over to edit and you hit enter. And our matrix has 2 rows and 3 columns. So I'm going to hit 2, enter, 3, enter. And then it's the right size. And then we're just going to put these in. So I need a 2 and a -7 and a -17. And then on the next row, I need a 3, a 5, and a +17. So make sure that you get it all entered in, looking good like that, and then you need to quit out. You have to quit out to do the next step or you won't make it work. We're going to go back to matrix, second matrix, over to math. Now we're going to scroll down a lot, all the way to letter B where it says RREF. Hit enter, and nothing happens because it's waiting for you to tell it what to RREF. So you go back to matrix, and you just hit enter right there on matrix A, and you hit enter. And you get this really big hot mess. That's where you turn it into a fraction, because our answers are going to be fractions on this one. And you'll see it says 1, 0, 34 31sts, 0, 1, 85 31sts. Well, if you remember what we typed in, it went x, y equals, x, y equals. So this really says 1x plus 0y equals 34 31sts. So x equals 34 31sts. 0x plus 1y equals 85 31sts. So y equals 85 31sts. So that means x equals 34 over 31, y equals 85 over 31, and that's your answer. So the more often you do this, the more you get used to it, the quicker it will go. We're going to try it on a couple more, but here we go. Let's try a couple more. So the calculator will do these for us. That's pretty much what we're going to use for the rest of our examples here. So we're going to try these two systems. Y equals 3x minus 2, 15x minus 5y equals 10. So first we need to line it up. We need to subtract that 3x over. And then we turn it into our matrix, -3, 1, -2, 15, -5, 10. So when I plug that in, clear that out, we're going to go back to matrix, over to edit. And so now I've got still a 2 by 3. And I'm going to go -3, 1, -2, 15, -5, 10. Grid out. I go to matrix. I go to math. I RREF, matrix A. And then I want to turn it into a fraction. And my top line says 1, -1/3, 2/3. So x minus 1/3 y equals 2/3. And my bottom line says 0, 0, 0. So 0 equals 0, which is true, right? 0 equals 0. That's true. So that means infinitely many solutions. I don't get an actual answer on this one. Infinitely many solutions. Interesting. My next one is similar. X equals y plus 4. I subtract my y over. So then I have 1, -1, 4, 4, -4, 15. I'll show you a cool trick on this one. So we edit 2 by 3, 1, -1, 4, 4, -4, 15. I quit out. I'm going to go to second enter, and it says, wait, you just turned it into a fraction. So I hit second enter again, and it RREFs. I don't have to do all the typing. This one says 0, 0, 1 on the bottom. So that means 0 equals 1. That's not true. So this one's a no solution. So those are the trickster problems. So on the bottom line on your calculator, if it's all zeros, that's infinitely many solutions. If it's zeros and then a number, that's a no solution. That's how those will work. Now, the big guys. This one, we have this big system of 3 equations, 3 variables. We're going to do the same thing. This is where the calculator makes your life way easier. So I get rid of my variables. So my top line is 5, -2, -4, 3. Line 2 is 3, 3, 2, -3. And line 3 is -2, 5, 3, 3. So in my calculator, we type in, we go to matrix, we go to edit. This one's not 2 by 3 anymore. It is 3 rows and 4 columns. So it's a 3 by 4. So 5, -2, -4, 3, 3, 3, 2, -3, -2, 5, 3, 3. So I quit out. And again, I'm just going to go second enter. And now you can see x, y, z equals x, y, z equals x, y, z equals. So my answer is just right here along the right side, -1, 2, -3. So there's my answer right alongside. Way easier than doing it by hand. So one last problem. You'll see this top one just is x plus z. So make sure you put in a 0 for your y there. 1, 0, 1, 8, 1, 1, 2, 17, 1, 2, 1, 16. I already did this one. I ended up with 1, 0, 0, 3, 0, 1, 0, 4, 0, 0, 1, 5. So that means x, y, z equals, so x equals 3, 0, so 0x, 1y, 0z equals 4, so y equals 4, z equals 5, so my answer is 3, 4, 5. We call those ordered triples instead of ordered pairs. They have a z-axis as well. So that's how those work. Hopefully that makes your life a little easier. You are now ready for week 5. 5 homework on my math lab. Hopefully it won't take you too long if you have your calculator handy. If not, you can download a really cool one like I was just using if you just search online TI-83 calculator. So good luck. Let me know if you need anything and keep up the hard work.